Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another day in the life video. I am heading over to the hospital right now to start our week a little bit later than usual, just because we had Labor Day off, which was great because since today is my birthday, I got to spend at least a little bit of the weekend spending some time with family, friends, and just everyone that I could during that weekend before the week started. So it was really wonderful overall, but we're heading to the hospital right now to get our week started. I'm excited to see everything that we can look forward to this week, like trying to really do more and more as we're kind of integrating ourselves into the sessions and interacting with these kiddos. So I'm very excited for the day, and I'll talk to you guys once it's done. Well, today went by actually pretty fast as a whole. It was a good day at clinic. After clinic, I went for a run, and now I just grabbed myself some canes to kind of celebrate since I'm on my own for tonight. So I'll have a nice little dinner to replenish myself after that nice run that I went on. But to talk about today, honestly, it was a great day overall. Like, of course, it was my birthday. I got to spend it doing something that I really enjoy. And some of the patients that I saw today were some of the reasons why I do really like the fact that I can be within the realm of physical therapy and have the impact on people that I can. Because, for example, one of our patients today, they had been not very active the past couple days and even weeks because of their condition, and we got in there and with the help of their family member support got them to get up and truly start to walk, even though they were really unsure that they were going to be able to do it at all. And just being able to help people overcome their fears and show them that movement is good and we can really help impact their lives as a whole. And I thought that that was wonderful, on top of the fact that with another one of our patients that I've been working with pretty consistently, since they're one of our regulars that we see both in the morning and in the afternoon, they had actually mentioned over the weekend that their physical therapist that they were with during that time when we weren't there, they felt that the physical therapist with their exercises, they were good, but they just didn't get the kind of fatigue and soreness that they know that they can get from exercise when they are working really hard, because this person is pretty familiar with exercise as a whole. And I was really excited because I was like, yes, this is my opportunity to really utilize that applied exercise science knowledge that we got in some of our most recent semesters of being like in the inpatient setting. Lots of times, because of the fact that these people are in such an acute condition and we don't want to work them too hard, that we underdose our exercise and we do all of these type of things. So I went in there and I was like, okay, you didn't feel like you were worked hard enough last time. Let's talk about the exercises you did. Okay, let's start adding some weight to this. Let's add duration. Let's add some cognitive tasks. I started doing all of that. I asked them after each set of exercises that they were doing, like, how many more do you think you could have done? Oh, you could have done 4 or 5 more. Okay, let's up the weight. Let's, make these adjustments, because I was able to, by the end of it, make them feel like they really were working to the hardest ability that they could, even just on the treadmill, like making sure that I'm not just having them walk at, 1 mile per hour when they're pretty high functioning and they're walking faster than that on a normal basis. Like, let's build it up to 2.5 to 3 to 3.5 miles per hour if you feel you can tolerate it, even for short periods, that we're really focusing on that change. So I think that today was a really great time for just application of all of the things that I have been learning, and I can see it being in use and I hope to see when I see them tomorrow or even the next day, to have them report back that they did feel that that was useful and have everything that we're learning in class be confirmed. So I'm excited for that. I'm ready for another day, but for the rest of the evening, I am just going to eat my dinner because I am very hungry now, and I am going to knock out some of my NPTE studying because I am a bit behind on it, but it's okay. It's only one day, so I'm sure I'll be able to make it up pretty quick. All right, well, last night I managed to get all caught up on my MPT studying, so that is really good, but I was definitely a little tired this morning because I stayed up a little bit later as a result of that, but I made it through the day and it ended up being another great day. I think the main two things that I took away from today were going back to that one patient that I had really challenged and really worked them to what I knew was more of their actual challenging area with their walking, with their strength training and everything. And I asked them this morning, I was like, how are you feeling? And they reported that they started to have that soreness and felt like they actually really worked themselves and felt good about that. So I was very happy in terms of my own self, like putting in that work to really think about it, like go through that reps in reserve, talking through the entire process with them so that I could truly challenge them to the degree that they needed in order to start getting that kind of change, as soreness is a good idea of exactly how hard you're working those muscles. So I was very happy I was able to achieve that today. But outside of working with a lot of our other patients on the day, and everything was fairly regular for the most part, we ended off today working with a patient who has a complete C4 spinal cord injury. So very, very low on the functional scale, having lots of dependence on their parent who is there caring for them. But it was awesome getting to see the both parent reaction and the reaction from the kid, getting to utilize one of the seated chairs where you kind of, the easiest way to explain is they almost have like a mouse, but it's a pad that is right near their head, and they have one on this side and two on the other side. And basically, because at a C4 level, which is, pretty high up your cervical spine, you really only have control over a little bit of your shoulder and basically everything within your upper neck area. And so they can do side to side movements, they can do forward, back, everything like that. They also have a sensor as their headrest. And basically each of those things allows them to, change modes, hitting to the left, change the degree of like your speed by hitting the one on the right, or selecting having your chair go up and down. And it's just really cool to see all of the functionality they're able to get and just the degree of independence that they can get given their injury. And it was really cool to watch them, work through that. Of course, having our hands on the back in case we need to shut off if they're going too fast and they didn't try to because they're bumping things at the wrong times or whatever. But it was just awesome to see someone actually work through that process and see how excited they were to think of all the possibilities that they can have now, where they were thinking they're like, oh, now I have to attach my toy sword to my chair so that I can joust with my siblings or one of the therapists that was working with them. So it was just great to see how much joy that it brought them as well as their family members. So those were really kind of the highlights for today. But now that I'm done, I am going to head off and do another training run. I'll get myself some dinner and probably knock out my NPTE studying for the day. I might even do a little bit more of my review rather than just my daily reading and quizzing regarding it, but I guess we'll kind of see what the end but I guess we'll kind of see what the night ends up being. Well, it was a short week, but it ended up being another great one to end off the second week of our clinical experience number 2. Already done with week 2 out of 16, so it is absolutely flying by. But there's really 3 things that I wanted to touch on from clinic today. The first of which was the fact that one of our patients that we've been working with for a little while, they have had a very complicated situation. Basically, they had come in for this pretty minor injury and ended up having this humongous medical workup throughout multiple medical teams trying to manage it and everything. And the family and this patient really wasn't expecting that from the injury that they had. So it's definitely an entire ride for them as a whole, including the fact that there's a little bit of a family situation in regard to this patient. But I think the really cool thing about it that we saw today was the fact that there was so much progress in overcoming their fear avoidant behavior in regards to movement and just getting around, because they've been in bed so long having all of this medical workup and everything that they had really lost that feeling that they could do some of the basic things of standing up, walking down the hallway, doing all of these basic things that someone is their age really should be doing pretty easily without any issue. But just because of that kind of mental block, they were having trouble overcoming that. But today we saw them really blossom with the help of their biological father's help with motivation, just getting to see that interaction and how much of a role that plays in progressing these type of individuals is just really awesome to see that actually in practice. Outside of that, the second thing was that the first patient on rehab that we consistently see in the mornings and the afternoons that I have had from start to finish was discharged today, and it was really awesome because they're very high functioning. They have always participated in therapy and everything, so it was awesome to see them leave. A bit disappointing in the fact that we don't get to work with them anymore, but just wonderful to see their great progress and know that they're going home being able to do the things that they really do need to be able to do when they go home. Last and certainly not least was our friend who had the C4 complete spinal cord injury, and just getting to go around with them and adventure around the hospital, because they are starting to use more and more of that head array setup to instruct their wheelchair to move around. So we had them go all the way down to the base floor of the hospital. They got to see some of the cool little like marble setups that they have down there, an art gallery and everything. And they were very excited to be able to use that to move around. And they even got to see the studio that kind of has a radio broadcast that goes to all the rooms within the hospital, just to kind of do some bingo games or to have some radio and music going on throughout the day, and that made them really excited. So it was awesome. They definitely used up their time to the most of their ability, and we had to drive them back to their room because they got tired using the head array. But it was awesome to just see them gain more and more of that independence and be able to get themselves to do the things that they want to do. So I think being able to see that progress was really wonderful. But that brings us to the end of this week. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my new NPTE update videos. I've changed a few things, so if there's anything you'd like me to add or change, let me know in those videos in the comments. But outside of that, you can always check my link in the description for getting you 20% off of a Picmonic subscription. You can always utilize their 5-day free trial to see if it's right for you. But thank you all so much for watching. This has been KBDPT, and I'll see you all in the next video.